Hello, you Malty, making malt memories memorable. And thank you to Andy McPherson for that malt mention. Introducing, put this away, Ralphie Review 940 Extras. I've just reviewed this single malt whisky. It's Ciaranich, 12-year-old. You find it frequently from independent bottlers. And it generally gets overlooked because people look at the bottling and say, what? Tianich, I don't even know how to pronounce that. Never heard of it. I'll go and buy some Lagavulin. End of. And it's very easy in whisky culture to institutionalise our experience and stay in a safe zone with your basic single malts because they're cheaper, because they're chill filtered and they look better because of the burnt sugar in them, and because they're chill filtered and 40%, there's less tax to be paid on them. There's more bottles available, and it's a great place to start with these whiskies. But then you've got a choice. You can stay there, you can stick there and just explore a few of these standard available single malt offerings. Or you might start to explore a little further, and when you do, you're going to be hugely rewarded because it's an incredible journey. And the opportunity of that journey still exists here in 2022, particularly if you're in the UK and Europe. However, that may change, and I'll tell you why. Because a frequent complaint from USA and Canadian whisky fans is that these independent bottlings, these wonderful bottlings, well, some of them are not so wonderful, but others are really, really wonderful. They're just not available. They're not imported, they're not exported from the UK to elsewhere in the world because there's no perceived demand. And yet what you have are liquor importation companies looking at major online retailer specialist companies in the UK, seeing how much success they're having commissioning their own independent bottlings from distilleries and saying, we want a slice of that cake. Right. Particularly when we're entering a time of profound global problems. I'm being tactful about this. What I'm saying is that there's going to be a serious global economic slowdown, and sales are going to get tougher and tougher for businesses right across the world, right around the world. And they're going to have to come up with a new plan. They're going to have to innovate. They're going to have to expand. And they're going to have to use their specialist knowledge of the whiskies that they sell and of the customers that buy from them. And then what they're going to do is they're going to use the unique position to meet the demand to stimulate their sales. So you have importers saying, we're now going to be an independent bottling. We're going to have a partnership with another independent bottler in Scotland, and they will provide us our brand of independent bottlings with our name on it. And because we know our business and we know what quality is, we're going to ask them to send us samples to make sure that we bottle good stuff and no crap. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have a club. So the people who come to our tastings and buy our products are going to have an opportunity to subscribe to our whisky club. And to reward that subscription, what we'll do is we'll take a monthly direct debit, rightio, but give a discount on sales and send a courtesy bottle every 3 months to our customer. because we know where they live, we've got their address, they've got an account with us. And we're going to reach out further. We're going to have partnerships with our little embassies, small independent retailers. And if we've got a good rapport for them, if we got on well when we did a tasting in their shop, in their premises, a few months or a year ago, we're going to go back to them and say, you know, if you'd like to stock our bottles, we're going to come and give you a masterclass tasting, and you can meet the team that organised these bottles, and we're just going to sit around the table with your customers that buy the ticket, with your regulars, and it could be Scotch whisky, it could be bourbon, it could be rum, it could be tequila, it could be anything. This is the way things are morphing. The specialists are becoming more specialist. They're developing more meaningful, tangible connections with their customer to reward loyalty where loyalty is offered. Because it's a way you deal with an economic downturn. You adapt, you morph. And independent bottlings are in a fantastic place to capitalise on that. Independent bottlers, they have maybe 100 casks, they maybe have 1,000 casks, maybe have 10,000 casks. But they're only putting them out when they're relatively ready. And sure, let's not kid ourselves, some independent bottlers put out their whisky before it's ready, or after it's ready, or they'll put a finishing cask on it and it's just not worked. And what they should have done is just kept the cask for longer, give it more time to sort itself out. Then, you know, this is something that I know about now because I own a few casks, because I'm being hands-on about it. Because I am doing a micro independent bottling, really for Patreon supporters. So for Patreon subscribers, I rarely do merchandise, but when I do, it's for Patreon subscribers. So I'll just pop that in there anyway, so you're aware of it. And one of the deals is that when I last made my independent bottling, which was Kalila, available, I said to my Patreon subscribers, if you don't buy a bottle, or you can't get a bottle delivered to you because of the bureaucracy of the postage system, I will recommend other good Kalilas to you as an option. I'm going to honour that. So after I've done this review, I will do my weekly update for my Patreon subscribers, and I will introduce a Kalila and how to get these Kalilas, the really good ones. Because, you know, the skills come with practice and experience. Simple as that. But in the meantime, what I'm sharing with you is awareness of independent bottlings. So when you go out to a shop, you happen to be in a shop and you see a bottle you've never seen before. Yeah, that's it. Never seen that bottle before. I hadn't seen it. I'm looking at it going, oh. My first thought was, it's the first time I've seen a whale on a whiskey label. And it's not particularly well done. It's really basic artwork. And I don't mean to offend the artist, I've just given an honest opinion. At which point, I look at the colour, natural colour. I look at the strength, cask strength, 200 bottles. It's single cask. Now, this is meeting my requirements. This is whetting my curiosity, but I need to know one important thing. Is it great whisky or is it shite? It's what it boils down to. We'll have a bit of wriggle room in the price, but ultimately, whatever bottle we buy, we want to know, is it great or is it shite? And we've had our fingers burnt. Everybody gets their fingers burnt, malt mates. Everybody does. I have on numerous occasions. You buy an official bottling, you open it, you taste it, well, it's competent whiskey, but it's not what it was. And do you know, I'm thinking it's not what it was for a simple reason. My experienced palate knows for real that whiskey is not, it really isn't what it was. It's not just my opinion. Experience matters. And this is one of the great things about the internet. I can just give you what I know so you can learn so much faster, and the demands that you make with your interaction with the whisky industry or any other liquor industry will make you a fussy customer. If they want your business, they're going to have to work. They're going to have to work for it. They're going to have to bottle good stuff. Because you want a whisky that's great, not pish, not shit. Some of the independent bottlings, they're just mediocre. But then again, some official bottlings are now mediocre. In fact, of all the bottles I've bought in 2022, in terms of actual quality, I've had more disappointment from official bottlings than from independent bottlings. Because there's nothing on the official bottling label to give you guidance except for past experience. Whereas with the independent bottling, it's a new product. You're automatically going to do more research on it and be more careful what you buy. And this is a growing phenomenon. Malt mates, you're watching this. You're in the cutting edge of all this. You're in the front line. We're all in the front line here. Our relevance to the Scotch whisky industry and all the liquor industry around the world, it's only going to grow more and more significant over time, over the next few years, particularly in a global economic recession, which is happening. It's happening right now, and it's going to last at least 4 years. To ordinary folk. This is a great whisky. When you leave it in the glass for about half an hour, it starts to change shape. It morphs. It realigns itself within the glass in terms of the flavour range. And you don't get this with bottles at 40% chill filtered and burnt sugar added in. You don't get it with them because they're sanitised. But you get it with the single cask in particular. Mostly you get it with single cask, high strength, naturally presented whisky. This is where the real drama is, the real conversation. You can have a simple conversation with a basic bottling, but in terms of that more powerful, the deeper intellectual, emotional, psychological conversation we have with slow quality sipping of good liquor, you have it only with liquors, the most articulate with liquors that are your cask strength, single cask, naturally presented. So, I'm in the shop and I'm thinking, oh, it's the first time I've seen a whale on a whisky label and it doesn't look particularly good. And the professional in the shop says, yeah, we tried that round the back. It's really good. I'm saying, do you recommend this? Yes, I do. Fine. You're recommending it? I'll buy it. Great. Do you want a receipt? Yes, please. This is how you do it. But not every specialist shop will have someone who knows their subject or has tasted the whisky or even knows what they're tasting, because people in specialist whisky shops don't get paid that much. Look at the Scotch mist in that. Seriously. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. So, what else can you do if the shop assistant's not articulate and doesn't know their subject? You go on your mobile device, check reviews, check several reviews, look at the trend, see what the sentiment is. Whisky Fun, Whisky Base, Dramface. There's more growing points of reference. Look at other reviewers on YouTube apart from myself. Go and check them out. Look at a cross section. It'll only take you 10-15 minutes and it could save you a mediocre buy or reward you with a really, really good buy. And that's what it's all about. That's our final mission. A little bit less money, a little bit more quality of whisky. Or if we're going to pay more for a whisky, we need to get more back for what we've paid. End of. Period. Bish bash bosh. Hope you've enjoyed this little extras. Sharing the juice, sharing the moment, sharing the journey from the Bothy. I'm Ralphie. Thank you for watching. And just a final reminder, to Patreon subscribers, I have my forthcoming live stream on Wednesday, the 17th of August 2022 at 9 p.m, live from the Bothy for a couple of hours, covering a number of topics, sharing the gossip, sharing the malt moments. And if you're interested in the live stream, well, you'll have to be a subscriber. But all you have to do is buy Ralphie a dram. So there it is, a gratuitous plug of my Patreon channel. But hey, malt mates, if you don't like it after a month or two, you just unsubscribe. Check it out. You could be rewarded, could be worth your little investment. All you have to do is buy Ralphie a dram, wee dram. Not a big dram, not an expensive dram, just an ordinary dram. Something basic, that's fine. See you soon, malt mates. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you likey. Click the like button, leave a comment. I sift through the comments. I very rarely leave a reply, but I leave the wee heart things to show that I'm reading the comments. And keep it malty.